Maybe I'm Amazed is definitely a really interesting episode of Mickey Mouse Funhouse. This is the first segment in the 12th episode. And in this one, Mortimer comes to visit the Funhouse. And it's always interesting when a character outside of the Sensational Six visits. It mixes things up a little bit. And Minnie's a little bit concerned because whenever Mortimer's around, Mickey acts differently. And straight away I realised what this episode was going to be about, because most children at some point, even adults sometimes, have that one friend around whom they act quite differently. That friend might have quite a naughty behaviour, or they may have some character traits that aren't maybe the best. And that friend begins to echo those personality traits. And most of us have had a friend like that at some point that have made us behave differently. And Mickey starts to do things he wouldn't normally do in Mortimer's presence. And Minnie is very concerned about this, and there is a lesson here to be learned that you don't need to act differently when you're around that friend. If you need to change who you are to be friends with that person, they're not your real friend. And it's not just Mickey who learns a lesson, Mortimer actually does as well. And I won't say too much more about that because I don't want to spoil it, but I think it's got a really nice message that pretty much every child can learn from. Even if they don't know that they start to act differently, it's something that they can become aware of. Maybe a parent can become aware of it. With regards to the kind of sub-narrative, they are, they're having a very interesting time in the Land of Myth, which is a really beautifully animated land. I think visually it's gorgeous. The costumes they wear are really nice. Pete appears at one point, and I liked his role as well. So the narrative is pretty decent. It works well. And presents various opportunities that will lead to Mickey learning this lesson. But I think the message in it is really important and definitely something that's worth paying attention to. It may not be my personal favourite, but I do think Maybe I'm Amazed is pretty interesting. The treatment of Mortimer as a character is quite odd. I'm currently watching a lot of Disney's House of Mouse, where Mortimer is definitely an antagonist. So to have him here being viewed more as a friend, it's kind of jarring. That's not a problem with the episode itself. That's just something to bear in mind if you watch a lot of other cartoons with Mortimer in it. But either way, Maybe I'm Amazed. It's definitely an important episode.